I actually experienced stigma in social housing at quite a young age, even though at that point in time I wasn't a tenant. And that's because most of my friends were in social housing. And it really intrigued me that actually it was what street you lived in stigmatized you. And I was, I found that strange that you could live in one street in social housing and that was fine. But you lived in a street just a couple of streets away and that wasn't fine. But then as I got older and I moved into social housing, I started to realize that there was even more, that I was experiencing stigma, that contractors were telling me that when they did a bad job, that's all I deserved. And one even said to me, well, you don't pay rent, so what do you expect? Because I'm disabled. They also sort of talk to me as if it doesn't matter because I'm disabled. So it's a double whammy. So I'm in social housing and they don't think that, but even when it came to giving me getting the letting that I've got, it was, well, you'll have to go wherever we can find you a place, because with you having a disability, you don't have much option. So you'll just have to go, we're not going to adapt to places for you. So you'll just have to go wherever there's an opening, and you may have to move out of area to do that. So my disability has caused issues within social housing. Attitudes towards tenants need to change, especially coming from from contractors. I'm seeing more change happening within organisations, though some organisations are slower at doing that than others. But provision for people with disabilities needs to change, and the attitudes towards people with disabilities needs to change. Some of the issues that I face is that, for instance, organizations, when they do planning for in their buildings and things like that, they don't consult disabled tenants about things like their toilets, their access. So they don't get it right first time. But also sometimes the attitudes of staff towards me, they seem to think I can't do things because I've got a disability. And this happens a lot from when engineers come to do works. I am obviously brain dead because I've got a disability, and they need to be given disability awareness training. And I think communication is just the big area that I think is lacking in a lot of communication with tenants. Is just such a difficulty, because it can be when you don't communicate with your tenants, there's so much lost on the way, and that's when stigma quite often arises, because they're not, tenants aren't communicating, staff aren't communicating. If staff don't communicate with the tenants, then the tenants, it makes tenants feel like they're not worthy, because sometimes things don't go right, but communication can sometimes bridge a gap.